Welcome to More Than a Type, the podcast for emotionally aware women who are ready to stop overthinking and start taking action. I'm Carol.
And I'm Amira. We're certified DISC practitioners and mindset coaches. After 5 years of coaching women just like you, we know this.
Understanding yourself is powerful, but what you do with that insight is where real change happens.
In each episode, we'll unpack the patterns, personalities, and pressures that keep you stuck and give you tools to move forward with clarity, confidence, and purpose. You're more than a type.
Let's turn clarity into confidence
and confidence into action.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to More Than a Type. I'm Carol.
Hi, everyone. I'm Amira. Today, we're talking about the I woman, the enthusiastic, charismatic, people-focused personality who loves to connect. And the trap she so often falls into, saying yes when it costs too much.
If you've ever stretched yourself thin to keep the peace or to keep people happy, you'll want to lean in to this episode.
So I'm really excited about this episode, Carol.
Tell me about it.
I am a very high I personality. And so when it was time to come up with the I wanted to really speak about some of the issues that I've had all my life that I didn't understand. And now they seem so much clearer through the DISC lens.
That's so interesting. I love how we learn so much about ourselves through DISC.
Yeah, I agree. So I used to in the past, and I still do have this pattern. I am constantly filling myself up with appointments and catch-ups. So I have different friends from different groups in my life, from different times in my life, and I'm in contact with my friends. I have, over the years, picked friends that I have really had great connections with, and we've kept our relationships going. So I've brought a whole lot of like-minded friends along the road, and we catch up every once in a while. And the trick now is, how do I see all my friends and do all my work and run my business and do coaching and have time for my family and my kids and time for myself? So even as I speak about all the behaviors and all the tips and tricks that I've learned, I am still finding myself applying them vigorously because, I'm so exhausted most of the time trying to keep up with my friends, basically.
I can imagine elaborating this even more through this episode. You'll learn something more about yourself.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I remember I myself, although I'm not a high I, but I do have the element, the energy of the I, right? There were times when even I stretched myself too thin, saying yes to people. I remember there was a time a priest asked me to join some committees, to lead the committees, and I went, okay. And then the building where I was staying, the condo that I was staying in, they had a management committee, and they asked me to serve on it, and I said, okay. Everywhere I went, Amira, as soon as people asked me for something, I went, yes, okay, I'll do it. So excited about doing things, so excited about contributing and growing, that I didn't think about the toll it would take on my life, my energy, my family.
Yeah, and it's interesting because when we say yes, we know what we're saying yes to. We're saying yes to things that we value, right? So you value your church community, you value where you live and making a decision in the committee or the community where you live. So it's almost like that's the trap. You say, well, yes, this is really important, so I have to be a part of this.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But then as you mentioned, it takes a toll on the other commitments in your life, and then it starts taking a toll on your health as well.
Yes, for sure it did. So I'm thinking about another trait of the high I, which is the chatterbox. Like, think of Donkey from Shrek. right? He desperately tags along, follows Shrek everywhere. He's constantly chattering, and he's also terrified of being left behind. Or think of Joey from Friends saying yes to everything, even if he didn't understand what was going on, because he couldn't bear missing out. I think that fear of missing out, that's very real.
Yeah, for the eye. And I think it's really interesting. And what we're trying to do here is we're trying to give you characters that come to mind so you can see that this personality, and from that personality, you can see the behavior of how it looks from the outside. Sometimes when you're doing your thing, you're doing your behavior, you can't really see what you look like. So when you look at it from another perspective, you see how that chatterbox is going along, and then you get to see what the behavior does to people all around you. And it's not just these characters that Carol brought up. Like, I wanted to bring real life people that we know in media. So Oprah Winfrey, we brought her up in the last segment of D style personalities. And remember, we did say this earlier, you're not just focused, or you're not just one personality. Your profile may be a combination of 2 or 3 personalities. And regardless of that, you have the ability to go into any one of the energies of disc. You can be dominant, you can be influential, you can be conscientious, you can be stable. And it's how you use the energy, whether it's natural to you and it flows, or whether you really have to concentrate really hard. So in this example, Oprah is both a D, a high D, and a high I. So when you see her natural high I, I'm sure we all know this episode where she goes, you get a car and you get a car and everybody gets a car. You know, that really enthusiastic, really big energy, that is that fast, charming, hilarious I energy at play, which is why Oprah is known as a natural I personality type. And Oprah has admitted in the past that she has said yes to many projects purely on the fact that she hates disappointing people. She's also said that she's realized later on that I was trading my power for people's approval.
Sometimes we only see things in retrospect. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Hindsight is 2020.
Yes, that's right. I think Richard Branson is another good example. He's visionary, bold, enthusiastic. We also brought him up in when we were discussing the D styles, right? But in his early years, Richard Branson was scattered all over the place. His energy was all over the place into too many ventures because he couldn't say no. Some of the ventures obviously didn't work out, but not because he was not brilliant. He is, but because he lacked boundaries. So he had spread his energies too much, stretched himself out too thin, that he couldn't focus on bringing one to the brilliance that he had capacity for.
And it's not just in big ventures. We can be talking about the small everyday things. So, like, for example, from my life, I used to be the one that did the cooking all the time. So I'd have a 9 to 5 job, Monday to Friday. I'd be catching the train on the way home, and then I'd have to stop at the grocery store to pick up whatever I needed to prepare for tonight's dinner. And I'd be standing there and cooking. Meanwhile, the kids have come home, showered. My husband's come home from where everyone's sitting down with their feet up, really relaxing. And I'm standing there going, I'm still in my uniform. I'd love to have a shower, and I'm cooking. I mean, I love cooking. I love my family. I just felt really drained. And at times I just looked at them like, why do I have to sacrifice? You know, why can't we share the responsibility? But yeah, I just always said, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. Mom has to do it. So that was the old me. Don't do that anymore.
Hooray for you. You had your finger on something very important there. It's about sharing responsibility. We all, although yes, we want everybody to grow together, to succeed together, we want the responsibility shared as well. I remember there was a time, there were lots of times in the office, but this one particular time when my boss asked me to do a report for which he was supposed to do. Mind you, at this point, I already had a million tasks to do, so many reports, so many minutes, meetings to attend, events to organize, and he put something else, something new on my desk, and he said he needed that done urgently. It was something that took a lot of time, a lot of my energy, and all the while I was doing the work, yes, he's my boss, he's given me stuff to do, I'm doing it and thinking I've got so many of my own tasks that are outstanding, and I'm focusing my energies on something that he was meant to do.
Yeah. I often find this, that when someone knows that you're able to do the work, they just take it for granted. There's no awareness that this is a load on you. There's no even gratitude. It's like, oh, thanks. But is it a real thanks? Or it's like, oh, there it is. There it is. There's what I wanted.
Oh, finally.
Or finally, like yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So why do I do this, Carol? Why do I women, especially, I mean, all women, I think, but especially I women, find it hard to say no?
So this is where DISC lens helps us understand what's happening beneath the surface. The I style thrives on connection and approval, and the nervous system links the yes to acceptance and no to rejection. That's why the yes often slips out even before you think about it.
Yeah, that's so true. But here's the painful part. Every automatic yes drains your energy bank. You end up scattered. And by scattered, I mean like really disorganized. Like I know that I am disorganized when I turn around, and after you've finished cooking, like every single pot's been used, every spoon's been used, like the kitchen is a mess. So you're disorganized, you're stressed, and you're stretched so thin. And ironically, like we've just said, people just don't see you anymore. They start to take you for granted. Like, yeah, mom's going to cook. I'll just sit up, put my feet up. Mom will cook.
So true. Instead of building closeness, which is our intention, overcommitting builds distance. And the hardest part is every time you override your no, you chip away at your own self-trust.
Oh, yes. And we're going to get to that because that is a heavy one. So how do you shift? How do you keep your connection with the person you're having a relationship with, whether it's your boss who's giving you tasks or you and your friends or you and your family? How do you keep that connection without falling into the yes trap?
So let's bring this to life with a scenario. Imagine this. You're at work and a friend invites you to a networking dinner on Thursday. It sounds fun. You like that person, so you immediately say yes.
But here's the catch. You already promised your family a night together, and you've got a report due the very next day, and your energy is already stretched thin. In the moment, though, you didn't think about that. You just said yes.
And then if you fast forward to Thursday night, you're exhausted, you're stressed, and you realize there's no way you can make it. Now you're scrambling. Maybe you can cancel last minute. Or maybe just don't show up. Or maybe just text them the next day with an apology.
And that's why the I style often gets that unresourceful label of being flaky. Ouch. No one likes to be called flaky. And it's not because you don't care. It's because you said yes without checking reality, without checking your diary. And when your word doesn't match your actions, people lose trust in you, which eventually leads to you losing self-respect.
Wow, it comes back to us.
Yeah.
Now picture this, a different version of you in that same moment. Your friend asks you to come, and instead of answering right away, you pause and say, that sounds fun. Let me check my week and get back to you.
So you get home, you check your calendar, and you realize you can't do this. You want to do it, you can't do this. Now you can send a message. Hey, thanks for the invite. I'd love to join, but this week is too full. Let's plan something for next week. That's so resourceful. It's warm. You're still connecting with that person, and it's honest.
Mm-hmm. I noticed the difference. In the first version, you damage trust. In the second version, you actually build it. People respect a no they can count on far more than a yes that never shows up.
Yeah, and I want to I want to share a personal story here. So I had, let's just say, a friend, okay, because most likely they'll be listening to this episode. So let's just say a friend who always would say, "We're going to catch up. I'll catch up with you this week. I'll catch up with you this week." And every time I'd wait, and at the end of the day, they never showed up. And then the next day when I call and say, "How are you? I was waiting for you yesterday." "Oh, I'm sorry, something came up." And soon I realized that that person, it was just something that they were saying, but they actually never followed through. And as a result, it just seemed to me that the relationship wasn't as strong as I thought it would be. And we have started to lose touch a little bit.
That's terrible, Amira. But it's real and it happens to all of us actually. It is so
Yes.
easy to say, let's catch up and do nothing about it. And a lot of people do it.
I agree.
So how do we change?
We've got to be really aware of what we're saying. So awareness is the first step that we all have to take, and be really mindful of our language. It could be that, I'll see you around, or I might see you tomorrow. But how do you know that that person really isn't waiting for you, really needs you? And when you say, "I'll be there," something inside them lifts and goes, "All right, I can just hang on for a little bit until my friend comes." Now imagine that this person who's waiting for you doesn't get you, and they start to feel like let down. Needless to say, what we're trying to do as coaches is we're trying to teach people that you don't need other people to complete you. You are in charge of yourself. You are the person that's going to save yourself at the end of the day. So there are some people, however, who do depend on you. And when you say something like, "I'll be there at dinner," they're going to save a spot for you. They might order drinks for you. They might order things. So when you give your word, it's part of almost like a promise that you are going to be there, or you are going to show up. So we do have to be really aware of our language and the commitment we make to the people that we say we love, our friends, our family, even the people we work with, the people who respect us at work.
True.
Our colleagues.
And there is a ripple effect as well. When you keep your promises to others, your self-confidence grows, your self-trust grows. When you keep your promises to yourself, your self-trust grows as well. These are all pieces of evidence that your brain will tap into when you're doubting yourself. You need to keep this as evidence that, yes, you show up, you keep your word. Yeah.
So when you tell yourself that I'm going to go for a walk, you are going to go for a walk. If you tell yourself that you're not going to have that piece of pizza, you're not going to have that piece of pizza. That's part of keeping your word to yourself.
Yeah. Right. So here are some shifts that changed things for me. Pause, yes. Train yourself to say, "Let me check and get back to you." I must say that this was difficult at first because I was so used to saying yes immediately, right? And I had to change my way of thinking around this because I took it that not saying yes immediately was a no. But then phrasing it differently this way, like, "Let me check and get back to you," is not a no. It's showing that you respect the other person's time. You respect your own time as well. You will do the necessary to make sure you keep that commitment. So that pause gives you choice. The second thing is check reality, not the excitement. Before you commit, ask, do I actually have the time? Do I actually have the energy? Do I actually have the space to follow through? And this ties in with what you said just now. It's about keeping those promises. And the third step is choose integrity over approval. People may like you in the moment for saying yes, but they'll respect you in the long run for keeping your word.
Yeah, I must admit that is my go-to. The saying, "Let me check first." And then I actually do say, I would love to, I just don't have the energy. Sometimes I am so honest. And yeah, that's who I am. I just say to people, if I'm tired, I do tell them that I can't come through just because of that. But here's another tip, and it's one that I have tried and I'm still getting good at. It's called the yes budget. All right. So I literally decide this week there are 3 yeses that I'm going to give to people. And when they're gone, they're gone. So I remember last month, I had a friend ask if she wanted to meet up with for the weekend. And I had said yes, like way too many times during the whole week. And I remember saying, this weekend is just going to be for me to recoup my energy. And a friend who I hadn't seen in ages, let's catch up on the weekend. And I just said, I'm sorry, I can. And I didn't say I ran out of the yes budget because obviously she's not going to understand. I did feel guilty because I haven't seen my friend in ages. But the next day or that whole weekend, I did feel really rested. And I realized that my no had created a yes for my health.
Ah, that's wonderful. Earlier, I spoke about my thinking around saying no. So, and I needed a reframe, right? So I used to think if I say no, I'm letting people down. Now I remind myself every no is a yes to what matters most. Just like what you said, although you're saying no to your friend, you're saying yes to your own health. And that's important because self care is the most important thing. Once you are full, once your cup is full, then you can give. So one of the things that I do is anchor that saying every no is a yes to what matters most. Anchor it by putting the palm to the heart when I say it, and that physical cue shifts my state.
Yeah, that's super important. Another tip that I have is what we call the sandwich boundary. So, this is where when someone asks you, hey, do you want to come out tonight? There's a specific sequence that you think of. First, go, wow, that sounds wonderful. I'd love to. And then you insert a no, but I can't. And then you insert some kind of connecting warm thing that you have with your friends. So, but I can't wait to see the pictures tomorrow, or I can't wait to hear all about it tomorrow. So the sandwich is a warm, like your spontaneous reaction. Like, sure, oh my God, that sounds like so much fun. But then you're going to put a no in there. But I actually can't. I'm exhausted. I have no energy, whatever you want to put. And it could be the absolute truth. And that's okay. Because what we do want is to start encouraging women to speak their truth. And you can say, yes, I'd love to come. And you can say, and I'm tired. It doesn't have to be a but. It can be an and. So I would love to come. That sounds awesome. And I'm so tired. I can't wait to hear all about it. And so this way, people accept that you're being honest. People accept that you're genuine, like they saw or they heard the tone, they saw your eyes lighting up at the invitation, and they can see that you're tired. And they can hear that you're encouraging of them to continue on to go without you. Like, you don't need, I remember always being the person who's like, oh, let's go, let's go, let's go. And when someone wouldn't go, I'd be like, oh, fine, I'm not going either. And it would just be so miserable. So I find it really important to encourage people to continue to go on that dinner, that concert, whatever it is they were inviting you to. It can still go on without you. It's fine. And you can hear all about it and see the pictures tomorrow. And they're going to have a great time, and you're going to have a great time staying home, taking care of your own energy or your health.
Wonderful. So tell me, Amira, what happened when you started living this way, when your yes was intentional and your no was respected?
It feels so much lighter. It feels like you're free to do what you really need in the moment.
Mm.
So if you just want to go home and take off your shoes and your socks and change into your pajamas, that feels like freedom to me. And if you do want to go out and have fun and come back at midnight, say yes and do it. And you're still going to have a great time. You're free to do what you want, not from a social pressure. It's from fulfilling your own need.
It sounds like living an authentic life, something that's true to yourself.
Yeah, I think so too.
So here's your challenge for this week. Say no once where you normally say yes.
And when you do, notice your body. Does it feel lighter? Notice your energy. Does it expand or does it shrink? And then notice the other person. Do they actually respect you more than you expected? I know sometimes you think that person's going to hate you for saying no. And then they're like, oh, I see you're tired. And you're like, oh, thank God they see me. So it's almost like you're surprised that they accepted your answer. But the fact is that they're your friends. They actually love you.
Yes.
So they are going to want the best for you. And for those who don't, you're just teaching them how to treat you.
Oh, that's powerful. Because boundaries don't break connection. Boundaries actually deepen the connection.
Yeah. And when you break the yes trap, you stop living for approval and start living in alignment, just like you said, living that genuine life. And that's when your yes actually carries weight and your no carries respect. And that's real freedom.
So before we wrap up, let's recap the key insights from today. The I style often falls into the yes trap because saying yes feels like connection and approval. But when yes is automatic, it drains your energy, it damages trust, and leaves you feeling resentful. The shift is moving from a compulsive yes to a conscious yes, and learning that people respect a clear no more than a false yes.
Now we'd love to hear from you. What's one situation where you find yourself saying yes, even when you know you don't have the time or the energy? Share it with us in the show notes below. We'd love to feature your story in a future episode.
And next week, we'll be exploring the free-spirited I woman who is always juggling a million things and how to shift from scattered to strategic.
Thanks for tuning in to More Than a Type. Remember to subscribe, leave us a review, and share this with someone who needs this insight today.
Until then, keep leading with clarity
and living with purpose.